What's up, everybody? It's your boy Meme here. Breakfast, I had like a sausage and egg and cheese sandwich. For lunch, I had some like these interesting chili enchiladas, and those were pretty tasty. And some rice, and that was good. And for dinner, we had pizza. I woke up this morning at 4:30, and then I went to work with and then I ate some food, and then I went to work with my mom at around 5:20. We got to work. I parked the boat very successfully. It took a while, and I had to disconnect the boat from the forklift like a few times because I kept getting the angle wrong. The boat is large enough inside of the warehouse, and the garage door to the warehouse is small enough to where you kind of have to angle it in a couple particular directions to make sure it doesn't really hit the edge of the door. I'm not too good at one-shotting that yet, and so I just have to, put it back down and, pick it back up a few times. It's a little weird. It's funny that I'm getting better at driving a forklift before I get better at driving a car, but, I feel like there's a lot of value in it nonetheless. Of course there is, right? It's good to know how to drive a forklift. It's good to know how to move things with a forklift, especially a boat. But you can't help but feel at least a little embarrassed, when performing a task, in a sort of unsatisfactory manner. But aside from that, nothing else has really gone on today. Work went pretty well. I mostly just organized a shelf in the shop that's been really bothering me. It's sort of a miscellaneous shelf of stuff that's it's kind of a small shelf up against the wall, but it runs across the entire length of the wall. And above it is a pegboard in which we hang up pliers and basic hand tools, tape, that sort of thing. And there's a shelf where there are so many tiny little tools and tiny little things and batteries and pencils and nuts and just strange objects to where you can't vacuum it without vacuuming up all the tiny little things. And so, by nature of being in a wood shop, sawdust just piles on it and piles on it and piles on it. And eventually, it just sort of looks like a weird mix of like sawdust, it's like piles of sawdust with, shiny bits inside of it. And you uncover the shiny bits like an archaeologist, and you discover these little wrenches. And it's like, what is going on? And you can't vacuum it because there's like a whole bunch of, because you'll just vacuum up all the stuff. And so it's really been bothering me, and there have always been more important things around the lab to work on, and so I've never really gotten around to it. But today, I not only did I organize the stuff on the shelf, I sort of nulled it to be a Tom Sachs sort of disciple in ways. Not only did I null it, but I also got this stuff on the shelf, and I put it in a bucket to put it to the side, and then I vacuumed the area it was under, and then I put the stuff back. This time it was nulled. I also organized the pens and pencils on it. It was all a little silly, and it made me feel silly because of, they aren't paying me a lot, but they're paying me they're paying me higher than minimum wage, and it felt silly to be doing this, but they pay me to organize, and I was organizing, so I feel like there's some value in that, even if it wasn't necessarily the most efficient use of my time. But I do feel like it just looked so terrible. Like, it looked terrible on the shelf, and it really made me feel bad. I have sort of an emotional connection to the cleanliness of certain areas in the laboratory, and that shelf was really one of them. Thinking about it just made me really frustrated, and so it was nice cleaning it up. Nothing else really went on. Near the end of the day, I was just helping my boss attach some acrylic to the edge of the model And yeah, nothing else really happened. So yeah, I got home from work and then I walked on the treadmill for about 10 minutes, and then the pizza got here. It's like that King Bach. Is that King Bach, or am I just racist? Hold on, I don't think it was King Bach. Was it Caleb City? Am I just digging myself a bigger hole? Hold on. No, it was Caleb City. My bad. Sorry. But it's like that Caleb City video, Ayo, the pizza here, and then you fall down the stairs. But no, anyway, shout out Caleb City. He's a funny guy. I remember back in the day, God, this must have been pre-COVID. I can just check. Discord has it's had a lot of issues that they haven't fixed for a long time, but I do really like Discord search. Like, it's incredible. You can just really quickly search stuff, like throughout your entire message history with someone. I'm just trying to figure out if this was pre-COVID or post-COVID. Oh my god, there's like drops of water on my phone and it's making me type improperly. Okay, no, it wasn't pre-COVID. Hold on. Wait, no, it was wait. Oh my god, I see 4 years ago and I think it's pre-COVID, but it was 2021. Okay, it was mostly pre-COVID. Yeah, okay. Because he started sending them to me back in 2018, it looks like. So, yeah, back in the day, my buddy was a big Caleb City fan. And I don't really know what he's doing now. Like, ever since... must have been COVID, I haven't really been keeping up with his stuff. But he's a funny guy. He made funny skits on YouTube. Anyway, yeah, so I walked on the treadmill for 10 minutes and the pizza was here. So I came up and I got pizza and I ate pizza with my parents, and that was pretty good. We got a pepperoni pizza and a margarita pizza, which is pretty interesting because we don't normally get margarita pizzas from this pizzeria. But it was really, really good. I was watching this stupid Destiny clip. And I know I shouldn't watch Destiny, okay? But I was watching this Destiny clip, and it was from back in the day, and he was talking about how much he dislikes margarita pizza. I was eating this margarita pizza, and I was thinking to myself, like, man, like, this is really good. Like, I wonder, like, why doesn't this guy like margarita pizzas? And that, frankly, that's just another reason to not watch his stuff, frankly. But anyway, yeah. So then I went back downstairs. I walked on the treadmill for another hour. I remember by the end of the time I was on the treadmill, I was on there for about an hour and 13 minutes, according to my stopwatch on my phone. And then I came upstairs. I actually cleaned the shower because I was planning on cleaning the shower tomorrow, but I was thinking to myself, like, man, I really want to live stream myself studying tomorrow for like a pretty consistent block of time, because tomorrow we have to go to the dentist, and I really, at about 3:05 p.m., and I really want to, like, really maximize the amount of time I have before the dentist. So, yeah, so I cleaned the shower, and yeah, then I brushed my teeth, and then I shaved, and then I took a shower, and now it's 8:39 p.m. So I'm gonna be going to bed now. I'm not getting 8 hours of sleep tonight, which sucks. I try to get 8 hours of sleep. I've been slacking on that, frankly. The thing that happens is I get less than 8 hours of sleep, and then I think to myself, like, oh, I'm just gonna drink like 400 milligrams of caffeine, to solve the problem, and then I end up doing that, and then I'm just like wired, right? And that feels great, of course, but like, I feel like, there's really nothing you can supplement. There's nothing that can supplement. There's nothing you can supplement your brain with that would equal the same level of productivity that a good night's sleep gets you. And I've sort of realized that recently. About a year ago, I started like going to sleep later and like you know, staying up late to do schoolwork. And I think it's because I was sort of participating in like the cultural object of like staying up late to do work. Like there's sort of a, there's sort of a, you know, at least in American culture, there's sort of an idea of like staying up late to do work, you know, and how, you know, that implies you're sort of working hard. And that's definitely the case in other countries, but I'm just American, so you know, that's all I know. And I feel like that's kind of unwise because, you know, you can get a lot of work done if you have a consistent sleep schedule. Like think about never mind. I was gonna give an example, but I don't think it would have been rhetorically effective. But anyway, yeah, nothing else is really going on. Yeah, I'm gonna be going to bed now. And man, I've been recording for 10 minutes. Bye bye.